This is a PSA for parents of job seekers right now. All you fresh college grads who are trying to explain to your parents how hard the job market is right now, this video is for them. You can just forward it right over to them. Okay, let's get into it. I'm a 20-year career coaching veteran. I have been through multiple recessions and down markets. This is the single worst one you will ever see for your recent college grad. We have a massive white-collar job recession going on right now that is not properly being recorded in the media. So your young, bright, hardworking kids are struggling to land jobs because there aren't enough of them. Please do a little searching and you will find out over half the jobs that entry-level college grads would have gotten at some of these big corporations are gone because of AI. These companies are wiping out entire levels of entry-level jobs that are never coming back, by the way. AI is shifting our market. Companies don't want more employees, they want less. Employees are expensive and unpredictable. So these poor kids are graduating in a time where there are no job opportunities. Now this will shift. AI will eventually create lots of little companies that your very smart child will be able to work at if, and this is a big if, they have what I call an AI toolkit or an AI tech stack. They need to be using all the different AI tools so that they can do the work of what used to take 10 people, because that is the future. So they have an opportunity right now to lean in, be working on various AI tools, and eventually the market will bounce back for them and then they will be in demand. But right now it is very difficult. So here's what I want you to do. I do have one tool that can help you. And guess what? It's an AI tool. It's totally free. I'm going to link it here. It's a job shopping tool that I partnered with an AI company on to build so that people can find the real jobs and they can see exactly what level of a match they are to those jobs. Because if you're not an 80% match to a job or higher, you are not going to be selected. This will show you, one, how few jobs there are for your recent college grad, but two, what kinds of jobs they actually match to and what they can be doing to apply leveraging AI to hopefully get a job. So check it out. It's one thing they can do to help, but please be patient, be kind, get them job search coaching, get them resources, because how you find a job right now is totally different than it was just 2 years ago. This market is insane. Give them some grace, give them some tools, and we'll get them to work. Go get them.
Like at this point, I'm actually kind of an expert in being unemployed. So I'm going to be talking about my guide to getting through unemployment. I've been unemployed since May of 2024, which I kept saying was like 6 or 7 months ago. It's been 10 months. I just Googled it. I was like, how long ago was May 2024? They said 10 months. So I've been unemployed for 10 months. Here's my guide to losing your job. Not guide to how to lose your job, guide to get whatever. First and foremost, find something that gets you outside. Mine was workout classes. I think it's worth the cost personally. It gets me out of the house at least like once a day or once every other day or however often I end up going. So whatever that is, find something that actually gets you out of the house. Number 2, make plans with friends at least 2 to 3 times per week, especially if you live alone. You cannot experience life alone, because if you go from, even if you're working remote and you're like talking to people, you're still like communicating with people at your job. So if you get laid off and all of a sudden you're like literally so isolated, you gotta make plans with your friends, okay? Don't stay in bed longer than 5 minutes after you wake up. You gotta get out of bed, okay? I went through a phase where I was like staying in bed for probably like an hour and a half after I would wake up after I lost my job. It really didn't make me feel good, if you could imagine. The next one, along with that, wash your face, do your skincare, and go on a walk if you can. I've had a really hard time I'm trying to do that recently. But I'm always doing my skincare in the morning just to like feel refreshed, make myself feel like a person. I'm gonna make myself smaller here. Not emotionally, just physically. Okay. Do something each week that you can be proud of yourself for, whether that's going on a walk, it could be something small, going on a walk, organizing your closet, making a new meal, just trying something new. Give yourself something to be proud of, because going from working every single day and like having tasks that you're completing and getting like, I don't know, like, yay for completing it, whatever the fuck, you got to give yourself something to be proud of, because our brain is wired for capitalism, unfortunately. Where am I? Let your friends in, okay? It's really easy to push people away during this time, I say here, because I have done it myself. But that just causes isolation. Talk to your friends about how hard it is. Talk to your friends about how frustrating it is. Also be like, set boundaries. I feel like I have a hard time with people like constantly checking in as far as like unemployment stuff goes. Like, have you found a job yet? Or like, how was your interview? Like, I have talk to my friends about, like, I'll let you know how it's going, but like, don't text me. That's not how it was, but you know what I mean. It made me really anxious to have people like constantly checking in. For temporary work, contract roles, small side jobs, that'll help you sustain your income. I have been doing contract roles since I got laid off in May, and that has paid my rent, not much else, but like, thank God. Like, otherwise I don't really know what I would have done. Have boundaries with the time that you spend applying for jobs. It's so easy to literally just be like, I'm gonna apply for jobs 24/7 because I need a job, which duh. But also allow yourself to apply for jobs while you're like watching TV, you know? That always has helped me, where I'm like mindlessly just kind of applying for jobs. It's a numbers game is the situation. This is a really big one, and a really uncomfortable one. Let yourself be upset if you don't get a job that you were interviewing for. If you get a rejection after a job that you interviewed for and you really, really wanted, allow yourself to cry and be upset. In the very beginning, I was very like, whatever, like, it's fine, I don't care that much, like, just not letting myself feel the feelings. Just because you believe that what's meant for you will come for you, which I believe will come for you. That sounds scary. What the universe is gonna bring to you is meant for you. You kind of get my gist there. Just because that's the truth doesn't mean you can't feel the emotions in the meantime. Let yourself cry. I cry almost every single time I get a job rejection, especially one that I've interviewed for, not ones that I haven't interviewed for. The ones that I've interviewed for and got rejected from, I'm crying, okay? Sorry. On this realm as well, journal about how angry you are. Some things work out easier for other people, and that's really frustrating, okay? Some people don't have to experience what you're experiencing. Some people are employed, and some people, like, things just come easier for some people, and that's just kind of the situation. You let yourself be mad at that and just journal about it. Don't obviously be mad at people in person about it, but it's okay to be like, I'm pissed that whatever. You get it. I'm like not explaining. I'm like, you get it, because you do. And I'll leave you with this: time will pass, stress will come and go. Try to let yourself breathe. It's horrible, and I'm understanding that because I'm experiencing it. So we'll get through this. It is temporary. When you're 50, you are not gonna think about this time anymore. You actually probably will. I probably will definitely think about this time because it was really fucking hard. But hopefully we'll be employed by 50. That's the goal. Anyways.
So if you're unemployed right now, like me, I wanted to give you guys a heads up, just because I was kind of in the unknown, thinking that I had until probably the end of the year, because I got laid off in December last year. Like I said, thinking I had a year, and I just noticed and I called, and I have 1 week left of unemployment that I did not know about and I was uneducated about. The guy basically said that you have a clean balance and whatever is left is how much you're gonna get. And so basically I have one more payment that I'm gonna get. I don't have a job. I have applied to over 100 plus places and I've heard back from no one. And basically what the guy told me is that this has to do with our presidency and the government, and how basically they aren't renewing any unemployment and we might go in recession within 2 months. And that is when I'll know if I can reapply for unemployment.
So I was fired today and wanted to come on because I feel like, number one, this happens to a lot of people, and I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. You know, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom, or like, this was like a random meeting put on my calendar and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly. And then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, you know, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, you know, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day randomly, my manager called me. It was like, you know, how's it going? You know, normal conversation. And then he goes onto, like, completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple real rental properties. And I was like, he's gonna work on like managing them, and yeah, like, I don't know, that was like it. I just said he's doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change like what he's doing. And then he's like, well, you know, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's gonna be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, you know, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing. Like, no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone. But he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and yeah, I mean, it was fine, moved on. I like reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about like, you know, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to like April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now. And I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. And I'm just trying to process this. So like, I went back to the handbook, and they added that your family cannot work at a competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
Just got laid off about 2 hours ago. I think I'm still shocked. Like, I just can't believe that it happened. There were absolutely no signs from the company that it was gonna happen. 9:30, I got a Teams message from my boss asking if I was free, which definitely was kind of weird, but I thought that he wanted to talk about something that we had discussed yesterday. So I was like, yeah, of course I'm free, what's up? And then they dialed me into a video call where my boss was sitting in the office in a conference room with this lady from legal. And they just basically told me I was being let go. And it was super formal, super sterile, which, like, this is why I always say, like, don't give your everything to a company, because when it comes to laying people off, they just fire you like that. I was like pretty shocked, and I kind of got teary-eyed, like borderline was gonna start crying, and I like held it together, and I basically told myself, like, this is my last time where I'm gonna see my boss and be able to ask him any questions and get closure. So I was like, no, I need to like ask him any questions I have. So I basically asked, like, is this a performance thing? Like, I was doing international marketing for them. Like, is international just drying up and that's not going to be a priority anymore? And he basically gave some vague answer, which was like, no, this is like overall the entire company, we're doing layoffs, so you're just one of many. Then they dialed HR in, so HR started going over my severance package, and then they passed me to IT, where like he wiped my computer and had me wipe my phone. Like, the whole process was like 30 minutes. And basically I just started calling my family and texting some of my coworkers, and then I guess I found out that like our entire marketing team, like there were, I think like 35, 40 people. Like I think there's only like 10 people left. And company wide, I think they got rid of 20%. But yeah, I've just been sitting here basically for the past like 3 hours processing, talking to people. You guys have any tips? Like, what should I be doing? Do I sign up for unemployment? Please let me know. This is the first time in my career that this has happened, so this is all super new to me. Definitely be sharing more with all of you guys, and I'm just really grateful that I have, you know, all of your guys' support, and I'm excited to share this next part of my journey with you, and I'm re-recruiting and seeing how that goes. So definitely follow if you want to see this next part of my journey, and I love you guys so much.
So I got fired from my server job today, and it was completely my fault, but just let me know what you would have done. So this couple comes in like 30 minutes before close, which is whatever, it's fine. It's not considerate, but whatever. I wasn't too stressed about that. And they come in and, you know, I'm being kind, we're having a good banter, whatever. And then it comes for them to pay the check, and he's like, do you have Apple Pay? And I'm like, sure. So it's him and his girlfriend, and he does Apple Pay, and I'm like, okay, you can just leave it on the table when you're done. And on the table, he wrote out the total, which was $42.76. There was no tip, and then he wrote $42.76 on the total, which means like he left me $0. And I looked for cash, and I was like, oh, he stiffed me. Cool. So I was annoyed about that. And I was closing the patio, and they were outside talking. And you know what? I was like, I'm just gonna be, I guess I was like, I'm gonna be problematic. And I said, hey, was my service bad or something? And they were like, no. And I go, well, you didn't leave me a tip. And he was like, I left you $7. And the blatant lying pissed me off. And I was like, no, you didn't. And he was like, yes, I did. And I go, here, look. And he was like, well, it must have been an accident. And I'm like, you don't accidentally not tip. That doesn't really happen. And his girlfriend's like, he didn't tip you? And I'm like, no, he didn't tip me. And she was like, here, no, I want you to have my money. And I was like, no, I don't want your money. Like, I don't want you to have to pay me. And she was like, no, I want you to have it. And I was like, okay. And he was like, well, this is very rude. I've never had someone do this before. And I was like, well, you know, you cost servers money when you don't tip them. And he was like, well, this is crazy. And I said, I'm sorry I embarrassed you. And I went back inside. Well, he comes inside and tells on me to my manager, which was fair. I mean, I should have just kept my mouth shut, but I didn't. And so then my manager tells me I need to apologize. And I really didn't. I sure did double down. And so I did apologize to my managers though, because, you know, they've been really good to me and they're kind. They're just doing their job. But I apologized to them, and then I had to get fired because of what I did. So yeah. It's fine though. Everything's fine. This would be worse if this was my main source of income. I'm a teacher, so it's not. But people just really need to stop stiffing servers. Like for me, okay, whatever. But like people who live and work on this money, I hope you were embarrassed, honestly. I hope I did embarrass you and you got what you wanted and I got fired. So.
Guys, I got laid off again. 2 layoffs in the same span of 6 months is crazy. I had just gotten a new job in May, and I just got laid off this morning. Like, it wasn't an individual thing. It was like, the project got canceled. We need to lay you guys off. We might call you again in October, but like, it's not on anymore. And you guys, I actually can't. I don't know what I should be more concerned about. The fact that I literally don't give a fuck anymore. And this is just more motivation for me to pursue financial freedom, or the fact that I'm fucking unemployed right now. Like, stay tuned, I guess.
Laid off last December, and the worst part about not having a job is not what most people would think it is. It's not the fact that I am not making enough money. It's not the fact that I don't have anywhere to go. It is the insane guilt that I wake up with and go to bed with every single night. It is the fact that even on a weekend, I feel more relieved because my responsibility to find a job ceases on the weekend, you know, because if nobody else is working on the weekend, then I'm allowed to not have a job on the weekend. But the second Monday rolls around, the guilt is back. The guilt is back. And I don't think enough people talk about this, and it never goes away. And it feels fully like it's your fault, no matter how many times you're applying for jobs, no matter how qualified you are for what you're applying for. Just guilt. I just feel insanely guilty, like I have done something wrong or am doing something wrong. So you can't even enjoy your days off. And I think that just says a lot about our society and the value that we place on working. And don't get me wrong, like I still have side hustles and stuff, right? But it's that guilt of not having that 9-to-5 structure. It's the same way I would feel if I had a part-time job right now with a degree. It's just guilt. It's sick. It's sick, and I wish I could unlearn it. I wish I could not know what it's felt. I've worked every single day since I was like 16 years old. So not having a job feels like I'm letting someone down because of the guilt. And I'm going crazy a little bit, I think. So let me know if you have any recommendations.
Do you want to know one of the hardest things about applying for jobs right now? I think this is actually a hot take, but like, hear me out. Is when all your friends and family are like checking in on you and asking how your job search is going. And depending on the timing, like maybe someone checks in and they're like, oh my gosh, how's it going? You're like, oh my God, I have this job interview I'm super excited for. You like tell a bunch of people, you're like, oh yeah, I have this interview. Like I'm like in round 2, I'm super excited. And then like a week later, all your friends and family like check back in and they're like, oh my gosh, like, did you get that job? Like what's going on? And then that's when like you already have gotten rejected from it. And then everyone who was excited for you and like checks back in with you, you have to be like, no, I got rejected. Or you have to be like, no, I got ghosted. Haven't heard back. Or like whatever is going on. Cause like you never get the fucking job. You always get ghosted or rejected these days. And it like, you just have to like re-go into it. And that's like the worst part. That's absolutely the worst part.
Guys, I was approximately unemployed for about 1 day and half a day before I got a new job. God bless America. I am so happy. They offered me a position yesterday. I was literally banking my entire life on this position. I was wanting it so bad. They want me. I'm pumped. We're starting work on Monday. And it's literally what I went to school for. Like, I'm like, I'm so happy.
So back in May, I interviewed with the University of Missouri, where I went to school, MIZ, to be a recruiter because I love the school and I think I'd be good at it, whatever. That interview, I thought, went really, really well. They're like, yeah, like, we will let you know in a couple weeks. A couple weeks goes by, I email them, I'm like, hey, I'm still really interested in the position, like, any updates? And they're like, yeah, so we're actually still hiring, or still interviewing, but we will we're gonna be done in June and we'll let you know. Great, sounds good. June rolls by, I'm on vacation, and I'm still like, what, I really want this job, I haven't heard anything, it's the middle of June, I'm gonna email them, an email can't hurt. I email them. They're like, I get an automated email from him being like, oh, like, I'm away on vacation, but I will be replying to emails. That was on the Monday. Didn't hear anything until Friday. I got an automated message from Mizzou being like, do not respond. You interviewed for this job and this recruiting job, and we're actually not hiring it for it anymore. I was really bummed, and I was like, so I emailed the guy, like the real man, and I was like, hey, like, I'm really disappointed about this, but if you have any other jobs, like, I'd be really interested. And he's basically just like, thanks for your interest, wish you the best of luck. I'm like, okay. And so then today I'm scrolling on LinkedIn, whatever, and I see the exact job that I applied for that they're not hiring for is back on, and they put it up 2 days ago. What the fuck? Is anyone else going through this? Because I really wanted the job, really, really bad. I did not get it, which is fine. Shit happens. Everything happens for a reason. But then why tell me you're not hiring if you just go and put it back on LinkedIn 2 days later? I don't understand. We don't understand.
I'm in full crash out mode. I just went on an interview, and I've been unemployed for months, like just joining all of the girlies who are here also. I went on an interview and the role was described as one thing, and when I got there, it was obviously something else, right? Like, I'm dumb for assuming that it was what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? I go there and the guy makes a comment like, oh, you look good though. So, like, I hope you find something. Like, gee, thanks. It was just like a fucking nightmare. I'm just like over the whole process of searching for a job, all of it. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't need a job. I just need money. You know? So, like, here we are. Anyways, have a good fucking day.